I'm Insomniac.
I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
All right, this is episode 20 of Shooting the Shit. That's man, it's been a run so far, huh?
20, yep.
20 episodes. So this is the 20th episode. We picked a couple of topics today. The first one is from Jeremiah Clark, which is to discuss our favorite movie. That one should be
movies.
Or movies. Yeah, that should be interesting. And then Chris Graham said, if you were to write and direct your own TV show, what would it be about, and what genre would your show fall in? That's a loaded question.
Yeah. Oh.
So those are interesting. I guess we'll start with our favorite movies.
Yeah, well, I got a little list written down here, and I have strange taste. If I started with, like, my favorite movie, if just about one of my favorite movies of all time, it would be Rocky 1. And, what a success story that was all around, not just what the movie was about, but love that, and most of the rest of the Rockies as well. And then there was this little movie that I always loved. It's called Places in the Heart with Sally Fields, and really great little movie. If you haven't seen this movie and you can find it, Places in the Heart, great movie. The Warriors, I've watched that so many times it's worn out. And there's this movie that I saw years ago. It was made for HBO. It's called Southern Comfort with Powers Booth, who passed away, unfortunately. It was kind of loosely based on a true story. Louisiana National Guard goes out in the swamp there, and they get lost, and they get themselves in some trouble with some Cajuns that live back in the woods. And it's kind of a horror show after that. It's a quite interesting movie. I really enjoy it. I still pull it out and watch it. And then, going on, there's all the mobster movies. I mean, the Godfather trilogy of movies, Goodfellas, of course, and A Bronx Tale, Raging Bull. If you haven't seen Raging Bull.
Continuing episode 19, Italian Heritage over here.
Right, back to Italian Heritage. Raging Bull is a sick movie, but it's a true story. And then there's some movies lately that I really caught on to that I watch all the time. They both have Jack Nicholson in them. One is As Good as It Gets. Hilarious movie with him and Helen Hunt.
That's actually a
hilarious movie. Greg Kinnear's in it. Something's Gotta Give. He's in that too with what's her name? She was married to Al Pacino. Anyway, she's a writer. He's in that too. It's a really great movie.
I can't remember her name.
Why can't I pull up her name either? Something's Gotta Give. But so and there was so many other little movies like in the 80s that I loved. Like a movie like Valley Girl. I know I have like strange taste. Probably gonna be going, what's he talking about? I mean, I watched that a gazillion times with my wife. Got such a kick out of that. There's lots of movies. These are some of my favorites, obviously, starting from the top. Some of my favorites, but there's so many other movies. I wanted to go look at the movie rack before I came in, but then I'd be here all night trying to call off movies. But and there was a little movie that I loved that my brother-in-law turned me on to it called Hollywood Nights. Again, check that one out. It was all about cars, man. Back in the 50s, a drive-in hamburger stand that was being torn down, and Hollywood Nights. That's another great movie, and there's been so many. I can hardly remember. These are some of my favorites, So, yeah, and all the Smokey and the Bandit movies, but the ones I called out initially are my favorites. So,
all right, honestly, I'm gonna have to chop like half of that shit out.
Okay.
Because you just named like every movie you could think of.
Oh, I really did. There's tons more.
In the last 15.
There's a lot more.
To 45 years.
Okay.
That wasn't. I mean, they're all your favorites.
My favorites are the first 8 or 10 I read.
Holy shit.
That area.
I mean, I guess I'll try.
Rocky is my favorite movie, but he said favorites, so.
I guess wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's a lot shorter, partially because, and everybody seems to be shocked when I tell them this, but I don't really care for movies or TV very much. So I haven't seen most of the famous movies. I'm actually, to continue our episode 19 shit from last week, I've never seen any of the Godfather movies.
I've got the trilogy.
Shows you how much I've cared to see that. But anyway, I've never seen that. I've never seen Star Wars. What other famous movies are there? I've never seen like any of them. But anyway, the movies that I do enjoy when I occasionally watch movies, the ones that came to mind were Hitman, the first Hitman movie. I thought that was great.
Oh, now.
Yeah, it's fairly recent, but there was a Hitman 2. I didn't like that as much. Right. Basically, things that have great cars, great guns, and great chicks. That kind of stuff. So, of course, violence. James Bond movies, actually all the way back to the beginning. Minus Roger Moore. I didn't like Roger Moore. But I had the whole series. I really enjoyed those. And believe it or not, Daniel Craig, who is the newest guy, I appreciate those James Bond movies probably those are fantastic. But I'd have to say, if I were going to pick the movies that thrill me the most at this point, and again, I'm not talking about cinematic masterpieces. I'm not a connoisseur of movies, and I haven't seen too many. But I love the John Wick movies. 1 and 2, absolutely love them. I'm more excited for the third John Wick movie coming out next year, probably, than I am about Christmas.
So you do like some movies, but all right.
So those are incredible. But I mean, yeah, those are pretty brutal in terms of
violence.
The violence. But oh man, good movies. And who doesn't love Keanu Reeves? I actually do like some of his other movies too. So yeah, but you could see basically the lines of the types of movies I like. Those are all basically the same type of movie. You got a badass with guns and cool shit.
Right.
Screwing up some other people, usually Russian.
Well, Jeremiah said...
Why do Russians play the bad guys in every movie?
I don't know. Jeremiah said movies. I mean, we could be here all night with this. So I'm getting favorites. So, that's
all I got, really. Those are really the only movies I even really watch.
So, I guess we can move on to the next topic, which is quite interesting. Writing and directing your own television show. Well, I thought about this a little bit, and it would be a talk show. It would be quite different because, again, writing, directing, and I don't know if you threw in produce it. Man, it would run the spectrum. I mean, I know on my show, I would have all kinds of musicians, of course, first and foremost. Ones that people don't talk about anymore, people don't see, folks you wouldn't see going on a talk show, like a big talk show. I would have all kinds of cool people on. I mean, from drummers to guitar players. I mean, you name it. I mean, I'd have Eddie Van Halen on there. I'm sorry, with a guitar player. It would run the spectrum from local musicians to famous people, movie stars to, musicians. Again, people don't talk about it. I'd have Tower of Power up on that show right away. All the originals that would be in that band. And man, I would love to talk to them all. Just... you name it. It would be odd because, like I'm saying, I would have local friends, local musicians. It wouldn't be like, it has to be like this. If I can do what I want, like you were asking, it would be mind-boggling. Yeah, I would just have people on that would be entertaining for sure. I mean, I think about that when I think about being able to do what I want, have a talk show or whatever. I know local musicians that are absolutely astounding and amazing. And other than people being local, I don't know how much they're heard from. I'd have all kinds of folks like that on. And again, it would be heavily music and musicians. I admit that. But I'd run the gamut from stars and famous people to what I'm talking about. So it would be quite interesting and way different than your regular talk show. But that's my answer. I don't have a whole lot more to say on that.
I think my show would have to be a reality show. It would probably be called something like "What the fuck am I doing here?" The frustrated story of a guy in New Jersey, and basically, pretty much, you just follow me around all day while I get frustrated in different scenarios. Whether it be driving to my girlfriend's house, which takes a half an hour for 7 miles, and getting mad at everybody on the road, or going to the grocery store and hating most of the people there. And paying too much for anything that I purchase.
That'd be a funny talk show.
Whether it be
reality show.
Or whether it be the other 80% of my day, which is me working my ass off endlessly, making and recording, etc. videos, whatever, and trying to figure out why I'm making next to nothing. So it would just be basically a camera crew following me around, trying not to get punched in the face or have their shit broken while you go through my day-to-day life. I think, because you know what? I mean, as much as that, first of all, it's low effort. I don't have time for a TV show. So, if you want to follow me around and you want to make a TV show out of it, that's cool. But at the same time, I actually think that my life is fairly interesting, and it is so frustrating that I think other people would find it amusing. So that might actually get some decent ratings. Discovery Channel makes useless reality shows out of everything, so if you like that idea, feel free to contact me.
Yeah, there you go. They never let me do the show I'm talking about.
No.
But that would be a great show. But think about what I'm saying. Not like, oh, okay, so you got a talk show on and it's just got to be mainstream, pop. No. A talk show where I could have everybody and anybody on.
Well, no, but I mean, see, and realistically, that would never work because you have to have ratings because you have to have sponsors.
Yeah, but he said write, direct, I don't know if he said produce, like my own show, where I could really be in charge. I think that would be great because there'd be a lot of reality based to that too.
But what I'm saying
it's
is,
an interesting thought.
It would wind up on public access television.
Oh, all right. I think the world would love that actually. There's an idea. Now watch this happen.
As where mine, as long as I could drink a Coca-Cola or something on screen and turn the label a certain way, they'd probably put me right on.
Well, okay, well just remember we were saying this, and we got it right here documented, and you're going to put it out in the airwaves. If somebody pulls some shit, I'm going to try to find the best lawyer because this is a good idea that I have. It is.
It's a great idea for public access television.
No, it isn't. I mean, could you run the whole?
Yeah, but no network would pick it up. They're not going to let you have name people on a show that is supposed to air in front of millions.
All right, you guys out there now, you gave the topic. I'm sure you're probably going, wow, that's pretty wild what he's saying. You tell us. You tell us if you think my idea ain't a great idea. It's a cool idea. Because also,
I'm not saying it's not a cool idea. What I'm saying is, how would a network steal that idea? They can't use it.
Well, listen.
They'd have no advertising sponsors, so the show would be canceled in one season.
I don't know. The way things work today, you can put anything on, but
no, not on TV. You can't.
Well, I like my idea.
Anything on YouTube. Look at us two idiots.
So he didn't say it had to be so specific, but that's my answer, and I think it's a cool idea. And even those folks that nobody, who sees some of the musicians that I would want to bring on the show today. Who sees talks about Carl Palmer anymore, drummer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or even Eddie Van Halen, where are you? He's around, but I could bring up everybody from this one to that one. Nobody said, oh, well, like you're saying, oh, well, right, nobody want to see them. Yes, they would. I believe a lot of people want to see a lot of people that you don't see around anymore, including, like I'm saying, the idea of being able to bring on local musicians. I mean, hey, David Letterman gave, I believe it was Blues Traveler, that kind of a shot. They weren't really known so well they were around. Maybe even Dave Matthews. Weren't they connected with
No.
Dave? But he used to have him on. He used to have him on. But no, but Blues Traveler, it's true about. So anyway, that whole idea, I think it's a great idea. So, and tell me what you think. You think I'm crazy, but imagine that. You could bring on your local, and believe me, I bring on local musicians, people be scratching their head going, wait a minute, where's this guy? Where's he been? Who is he? Why have we never seen him? Because I know local musicians that are as good as anybody you'll ever see out here. That's a fact.
I think if I were to throw in a second option for a TV show, I'm going to throw in a second one there. I would do my Talking Cigars segment that I've been doing, except I wouldn't be talking about cigars. It would just be me smoking a cigar and talking about everything and anything. I guess that goes along with the frustration thing, but I think that would be right. I'll just drive around in something and smoke a cigar.
And bitch about everything.
And bitch about everything.
Yeah. Fucking the world, the way it spins around, right? It's always...
Especially here.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Just a last warning to stay all the way away from New Jersey.
Yeah, the environment here too, if you don't want to be sick all the time or something weird going on. We're sitting here not in our perfect state today. Oh, you probably picked that up maybe, I don't know.
Because this state is full of diseased people who all live...
Oh, man.
All live within 3 feet of each other. I'm pretty sure my neighbor is standing right there outside my window.
So anyway, that's it. I mean, quiet show today. We kind of jumped up the last minute on...
All right, well, so you all know, episode 21 is a 4th episode, which means it's a public episode. So
that's coming
next week, we will be shooting a public episode. But for all of the, episodes after that, if you want to suggest some topics, make sure that you are on the Patreon page and you leave those topics. I always, of course, respond to you guys and I add them to the list. Don't leave them here on YouTube because, again, some people who aren't patrons wind up seeing these episodes and
that's true.
they're not allowed to select topics. But keep throwing in the topics. We're really enjoying this whole segment. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are.
I'm glad that we have a lot of stuff to pick from, so keep throwing them our way. We'll try to get to them when we can, as you see.
More topics, he's right.
You know, we get to them.
Some of the other topics are still there. You guys are probably going, I suggest this and that. They're a little tough to get to and how we're going to discuss them. Some of them, I admit up front, if he's even going to put this in and not edit it way down, I'm a little bit afraid to talk on. So you've given some good topics. It's going to take some time to think them over, look at them, and get to some of them. But please suggest other topics as well. If you want us to make you laugh, like you said, us too wild and crazy. Oh, we can't use that. That's probably trademark. But us two kooks, you know, then draw the topics out like that. You want us to talk about more serious things? Today was like kind of like that, I guess. Then whatever you want. But
that was a very long version of suggest any topics you want.
Right.
I'll let you know if we can do them.
No, but there's the breakdown of do you want to see us go ape shit and they crack up at us?
It's not a breakdown. It's not like there's two columns and it's like you have to leave your funny ones over here and your serious ones over here. Just tell us whatever the hell you want us to talk about. If it's funny, it happens to be funny. If it's not funny, it happens to not be funny. I think
some of these folks like to see us, you know, go off and they crack up. But, you know, and that's all right, too, you know. But either way, you want to talk about some serious stuff? Sometimes you guys are suggesting stuff about our personal life. I mean, you know a lot of personal stuff already. That's interesting, too. But thanks. Throw them out there. Like you said, next week, he's holding his... All right.
What?
Yeah, great. All right. My farm goal. Now, what's up next week? We're going to do...
What do you mean, what's up next week?
So they can suggest, or we're going to...
I haven't even edited this episode.
What if I have an idea for next week myself?
Whatever.
Oh, that would be interesting. It might happen, too. All right.
Because I'll tell you who doesn't have ideas for next week. This motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I have way too much work to do on this channel. So you can suggest whatever you want.
So we're out of here. Roll the insomniac.
Yeah.
He's into everything. See ya. Thanks.
Yeah, goodbye.